Hello, welcome back. It's about time I got on with updating this. So, we're looking at the Wii U Gamepad shell. What I need to do is to see if I can get my 7-inch LCD in here. So, let me first of all get rid of this bit, pop it on my 3D printer bed over here. Apologies about the lack of updates recently. I've been somewhat obsessed by the 3D printer I got recently. Currently it's out of commission. Let me see if I can show you. Something happened with the Z-axis motor. Trying to see through my camera's viewfinder here. This axis motor didn't turn properly, so the X-axis here didn't lift up as high as it was supposed to, and then when it came back down, it made these lovely, wonderful scratch marks in the bed. Never mind. Anyway, sorry, tangent. I do that a lot. Put that to one side. So what I need to do, hopefully we can see okay on the camera here, trying out a different angle. I'm also trying out some better sound. Yes, that looks okay. So what I need to do is get rid of all the gubbins in here, disconnect, unscrew absolutely everything to see if I can even get the 7-inch screen to fit in here. Obviously it's going to need some heavy modification, but yeah. I've been thinking about this as well recently. What I'm probably going to have to do, somebody in the comments mentioned this as well, is that I'm very likely going to have to... Oh, I haven't got enough lights on here. Here we go, better lighting. Somebody mentioned this in the comments, and I do agree. Unfortunately, it's very likely I'm going to have to take this battery cover off. It looks, however, I don't know if you can see up here, it looks, however, as if we can unscrew this. So hopefully that'll just slide out. I'm not going to have to Dremel it out or anything, but we'll take a look at that. More importantly, however, let's get this thing pulled apart. So I'm probably going to cut this out. I'm probably going to chop this off because you don't need to see me doing this bit because it's not really that interesting. We're just unscrewing screws. So, bye. Oh, damn them. Damn them. I might have shown you the right side. They've put tri-wing screws on here. Damn them. Now, I think I said, apologies about the noise from the microphone here. I think I boasted in a previous video that I have pretty much every security bit going. And after I made that boast, I went back to check, and I think that's a lie. I think that's a big fat phony lie, because I don't think I have a tri-wing screw-in driver in here. I have this thing, but that's not it. That is not it, I'm fairly sure. Bum. No, it isn't. Okay, I'm going to have to find that bit. Well, dang it. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth, actually, but hopefully it's not going to obstruct me too much. Let me just put this away. Carry on rattling around, making some noise. Okay, right. So I'm hoping that's not going to obstruct me too much. I'm just looking to try and test fit this thing at the moment. Oh, I've just realised. I can swap the buttons back the way they bloody well should be, because look, it goes X, Y, A, B. I know Nintendo have always done it this way, but it's wrong. It's wrong. Anyway, you don't need to hear me waffling. I'm going to shut up now. You can watch a jump cut. Oh, before I put this to one side, somebody did actually ask me the other day if we could, in the comments, if we can potentially reuse this NFC antenna. And I don't know. You may be able to do it. I'm going to have to do some research on NFC, because let's see if we can get the camera to focus on that. It probably won't focus that close. This just looks to be just an NFC antenna. There doesn't look to be anything Nintendo specific about this, so we shall have to see. In any case, for this project, I'm not really interested in reusing the NFC. That doesn't really matter, but it might be something that's useful to know. Okay, there we go. Everything disassembled. Right, well, with the exception of these stupid tri-wing screws here. Thank you very much for that. Now, one thing I'm just noticing, actually, we've got a lot of contact points on. I don't know if you can see that very well on the camera there, but we've got a lot of contact points on this board here. So we've only actually got 5 connections coming out, which Which I said in a previous video, that makes perfect sense because you've got 3 connections for each potentiometer. We can see there the 3 connections there and there. So you've got 3 connections for each potentiometer. I can see a common, that's probably a common ground going between the 2 of them there. What I'm not seeing, however, are the internal oh no, that's not a common ground, is it? Well, in any case, there seem to be a lot more through holes than there are connections on this. So, you're going to have one for the micro switch. This is probably the micro switch here, these 4 contact points here. So that's the click in button is a micro switch. That's probably going to be these 4 here. As we've already established, these 3 and these 3 are for the potentiometers themselves. So maybe these other ones around here are just mounting points. I don't know. But this hopefully should make it, let me have a quick look. That looks like it only might be 1 or 2 layer board, but it's not going to take me too long to trace out these connections here anyway. That'll make things handy. Right, anyway, onto the star of the show, as it were. I've said this before, I should get things ready when I want to actually use them. I never learn. I never learn. Right, let's see. Now, it looks like... you see, I really do need these things out of the way. Bum. Maybe... Before we just put that down unprotected, let's just grab the little bit of padding for it. Don't want to damage that screen. There may be a way. They look like these are... Let's see if we can get that. It looks like there are connectors in here, so let me see if I can disconnect these cables from this angle without having to take that board out, because that would make it a hell of a lot easier for me to test fit the screen. And let's see. There you go, little bugger. I'll have to get myself a tri-wing screwdriver. I'm fairly sure I've seen them around. There's not a security screw out there that somebody hasn't made a bit for, so... Now you see, this would be a lot easier if I had nails. Come on, you little tinker. Get out of there. There you go. Right. So, let's try it without the cables in the way, shall we? So let's flip this over, because we can get a better idea of how much of the screen we actually need to block off. So we're going to lose, let's see if we can see up in there, we're going to lose quite a significant amount of screen space in there. So let's just try and hold that together and flip that over. Basically, I'm going to have to Dremel the bejesus out of this. So... what I think I'm going to have to do as a starter for 10 is this whole support structure around the side here is going to have to come out. I'm going to have to take away part of this here, part of this plastic here. Now I don't really want to touch the button holders too much, since I want to be able to reuse the existing buttons, even the home screen here. Home button. I thought of a neat use for that one actually. I can bind that to the button to quit, which would be handy. Or maybe menu. I'm not sure. Depends what emulators I'm going to use, I guess. But anyway, I'm on a tangent again. Yes. Of course, the other thing I can do, which I've seen in a project that somebody linked to me. Again, I should have this to hand, and I don't, but never mind. The other thing I can do with this, and this may yet be a consideration, is to use this 5-inch screen in here. Now, although, obviously, this is a 5-inch screen in a 6.2-inch hole, what I can do is make a bezel, make a custom surround that would fit into here. So let's just put some things down a minute and flip this over. So because we've got this lip around the edge here, that's going to provide me a nice, useful mounting plate for me to get things up against. And do you know what I think is really going to Do you know what I really think is going to do it, actually? It's going to come down to power consumption. One of my main concerns with this is being able to reuse as much of the existing shell as possible without having to modify the crap out of it. Because I would, from the outside, the project that somebody pointed me to, by the way, it looked fantastic, and that's exactly what they did. They used and made a custom bezel to mount their screen into in the middle, and I'm pretty sure it was a 5-inch Adafruit screen. Difference with it is, unfortunately, they couldn't get everything to fit in there, and they had to mount the battery and the Pi on the outside. But I didn't look at the data when this was done. Potentially the Raspberry Pi Zero wasn't available then. But from the outside, I want this to look as much as possible like just a stock Wii U controller, just a stock Wii U gamepad, but on the inside actually have it powered by a Raspberry Pi of some description. That could be a compute module. At the moment, I would like to do the compute module. The Raspberry Pi Zero is the most logical choice. However, I think the thing that a lot of people are forgetting is that there is a compute module 3 announced. At the moment, I am thinking of using the Raspberry Pi compute module for this. Obviously, I've got a 0, I've got a 3, I've got a 2, I've got an original Model A, a Model B rather, before they did the B Plus and before they did all the revisions. So I've got plenty of things I can test it with anyway. Yes, I'm on a tangent again. So what I think I need to do is to get all of this hooked up to, let me see if I can show you here. Go, get all of that hooked up to make some kind of I need to make some kind of control interface board. I'll get all this hooked up to a bench power supply here, because this will monitor the amount of current that the Raspberry Pi is actually drawing, so I can work out how many watts it's actually pulling from the battery when everything is running. So obviously then I can test it with the 2 different screens, see how many watts the 2 different screens pull, and then I can work out which one's going to give me the best battery life. Obviously, it's very likely this is going to give me the best. Well, I say best, the lowest power consumption, because there's less backlight to power than a 7-inch screen. But if we're talking in the order of, say, I don't know, 50 milliamps, 100 milliamps even maybe, that may not necessarily make a huge difference in the overall battery life. So it may be worth pushing for this screen size. So whatever. Either way, there are some things I need to do now. So first of all, let me just put some things away and I'll be back. Okay, where was I? Yes. There are a couple of things I need to do now. So first of all, as a previous commenter pointed out, I need to actually bloody well do something with all of this. So I need to actually start getting some bits made and some stuff done with this. So one of the first things I'm going to need to do is make some breakout boards for these flat flex connectors here. So I'll just make a small PCB to which I can mount the flat flex connector, so that I can just bring it out to standard 0.1-inch pitch pins, and then I can start prototyping and breadboarding stuff. So that's one of the first things I need to do, is go off and make some prototype boards for that. What I'm going to do to try and help facilitate that, though, is, I think I mentioned this earlier, I'm going to try and measure the pitch of the pins on this thing. Where's my calipers? There they are. So that I can work out obviously what size of connector I need for this. They're probably, looking at it, they're probably 0.1-inch pitch. I'm almost 100% positive that this one here is 0.1-inch pitch, and I'm fairly sure that these others are going to be the same. So I don't know how well this is going to come out on camera, but what I can do is measure the distance. I won't use this one. Let me pop that one back. Let me get the other one. I'll use this one because I can count the number of pins on here. That didn't end well last time. I can count the number of pins on here, and then work out what the distance is between all of the pins, and then obviously divide the distance by the number of pins to give me the pin pitch. So I should have checked how many pins are actually on here before I did this, but I didn't, because I remember trying to count this before and it was a turd. I had to blow it up. So that looks to be about 5 millimeters. Yeah, well, 5.06. So let's split the difference and call it 5 millimeters. Now, I worked this out last time. I did work this out last time. I'm going to need bloody magnifying glasses. Let me just count the connectors on here. 10. Thought there were 10. So 5 divided by 10 is a half. Therefore, 0.5mm pin pitch. That is exactly what I thought they were, aka the bastard connector. So what that means I need to do now is, first of all, well, I don't need to trace the pin out of these yet. But what I do need to do is make some breakout boards for this. So that's going to be my first task, is I need to make some breakout boards for this so that I can see, like this one, for example. This one is this one's got loads going on it. There are a ton of connections on here, and there's only so much I'm going to be able to learn by, let me bring that up closer. There's only so much I'm going to be able to learn by tracing out all the traces on here. I'm just going to need to hook things up and start probing stuff. This board has got an awful lot going on it. This one's probably going to be the worst. The connections over the controls over here are going to be relatively simple. These are all push buttons, so they're going to be quite easy to figure out. Yeah. Once I know what all of the connections do for all of these pins, I can start to plan out how this is all going to come together, and I can start actually getting some way close to something that might be a final design. So what else did I want to do? One thing I did want to do, actually, somebody wanted the measurements of the cutout for the screen on these things. So here we go. That's not very easy to show on camera or to do at the same time. There we go, in millimeters. What's that? 84 point. You can't see that. 84 point something or other. More or less 85 mil. Let's call it 85 mil. Now this one, this side, I think is too big for my... No, it's not. Not too big. Not too big at all. And it would actually be better if I measured it that side. I know you can't see this. Sorry, you don't really want to see that. But there we go, 144.04. This, where I've got my camera, is a pain in the arse. 144.04. Let's call it 144 mil. Sorry, I don't know what that is in inches. This, I can convert from millimeters to inches on here, but I didn't. I'm sorry. Okay, the last thing I wanted to do before I disappear is I want to sort of try and see if I can take these screws off here, take these screws off the back, and remove this piece all in one go. Just put this thing away. Unfortunately, even with a workbench, I have to put things away as I go because all of the space on my workbench is gone now. Okay, so put that to one side. Ideally, I would like to be able to fit everything in the case as it is, and the reason for that is because of this battery recess on the back here is an excellent location for a battery. It's a brilliant place. I mean, this is exactly what Nintendo uses it for, is to put the battery in there. But I have a feeling it's going to have to come away. So let me get the screwdrivers back out and get these tiny, tiny, tiny crappy screws out. Okay, let's see if this bit comes out. Because I can see here we've actually got some clips on here. But I'm wondering whether or not there's some more tri-wing bastards down here. So I'm wondering whether or not all of this is connected in some way. Yeah, I don't know. See, I don't know. I think it might be. I think it might be. Okay, well, I'm going to persevere with it, see what I can do. You probably don't need to see all this. Oh, by the way, this thing in here, apparently it is a vibration motor. Apparently this thing does have a rumble motor in it. I have never ever noticed that when I've used it, if I'm perfectly honest. It looks like this plastic piece here is actually molded. It doesn't look to be clipped in any way, unfortunately. That's a bit of a kick in the teeth, but nothing a Dremel can't fix. Okay, well that answers that question. That doesn't get removed unless I absolutely positively have to. And to be honest, I don't think I will need to do that. Let me just pop both half of the shell back together, and hopefully I can demonstrate what I mean. I've put the damn thing away because I'm trying to be efficient. Never mind. I think I'm going to have, okay, I've got enough space in there basically to mount that screen in there and have a suitable bezel around the outside. So that is absolutely not a problem. What that means, however, is that the amount of space that I've got for the rest of the controls in here, of course, this is assuming that I do use the screen, the 5-inch screen, which is looking more and more likely every day. What that does mean is that I've got a reduced amount of components. If I keep this in place, this worked better when I had the two halves together. Come on, there you go, come on. Yeah, that's it. So I'm going to have a reduced amount of space inside it to fit components in here. But hopefully that won't be a problem. Okay, so that's enough for now. Let me just clean up a little bit here. Okay, what's next? So what I need to do is go off and start designing some breakout boards for all of these bastard connectors here. So I first of all need to make sure that I can get bastard connectors with enough pins for these things. Yes, because I've never looked at flat flex connectors myself in my own designs. Hopefully it's not going to be a problem. Hopefully these things are just going to be have so many variations of this thing. So this one we've got 10 pins here, if I remember correctly. I don't have to remember because I can just look. This one should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pins, I think. Yeah, 6 or 7 on there. That's not too bad. This, I don't know how many we've got on here. It's quite a few. I'm going to break all of these out, even though they may not be needed. There's also this little one on the back here. Not sure what that is, so I will break that out as well, just to be on the safe side. I'm not going to find any circuit diagrams for these things, but yeah, it looks like I'm just going to be able to trace these out, hopefully, so I can work out where everything is. Obviously, I can see that those are switches. That's a switch also. They're going to be relatively easy ones to figure out, but the rest of these might be a little bit of a bugger. So, anyway, that's probably quite enough for now. I'm trying to reduce the size of my videos, the length of my videos, because I do talk for a lot. I do talk a lot. I talk way too much. Anyway, thank you for watching. I've learned a little bit more about what I need to do next. Hopefully the next video then is going to be me talking about these, just doing a quick whirl through of these PCBs right before I order them. And this time I am actually going to order these PCBs, unlike last time. I'm still not 100% sold on which screen I'm going to use yet. Like I say, I think I need to get it hooked up to a bench power supply, and I need to get everything connected up to the Raspberry Pi. So that means all of my switches and all my connectors. I'm pointing and indicating to something that's off camera, which you can't see. That's because my camera's in an awkward place. So I need to get all the switches and connectors hooked up to the Pi. I need to get the screen plugged in, any other components which I'm going to have in here, which, to be fair, there aren't going to be many. I will include no, I will not include a USB Wi-Fi dongle, just in case. Yeah, so I'll get them both hooked up to, say, a Raspberry Pi Zero, or even a 3, it doesn't really matter, and then I can measure how much current they're going to draw from a bench power supply, but that's after I actually make the PCBs. So, like I said, I don't know, 10 minutes ago, that's enough for now. Thank you for watching. I'm off. Tatty bye.